Welcome in to the Joe Cali Show. I'm your host. My name's Joe Cali, and we're recapping the Masters today. A little bit different, a little bit more of a golf show today. So appreciate you tuning in, you listening, and as always, feel free to like, subscribe, leave a review wherever you pod. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, even for the video. Spotify, you can even view the video as well. So lots of ways to get connected, and I appreciate all of the support. But without further ado, Rory McIlroy wins his second straight Masters. Just something I guess you wouldn't have thought coming, especially for Rory McIlroy's sake. The storied choker in all of these, right, has a good spot in it and then just kind of throws it away off of a couple boneheaded mistakes. And he didn't do that. He tried to at certain points, but he did not. He ended up making it all the way through and closing it out. And even on the 18th hole, he made it interesting for himself. So it's so fun to just watch, right? I was never a big golf fan when I was younger. I really didn't want much to do with it. When it was on, it was always, how do you sit here and watch this? Similar to baseball. I've been getting more into watching baseball. Played baseball and everything like that. I was into the sport. Just sitting down watching a game for multiple hours on end was a tough sell at certain points. So golf's really become that for me. Masters Sunday, it's as big for me as Super Bowl Sunday is. If I'm doing something with a group of friends or anything like that, it's where are we putting the golf on? And a lot of them, luckily, are in the same mindset. So it's never a problem or anything like that. But I've started playing golf a lot recently and really trying to hone things in. And watching it now has become that much more enjoyable. Watching what these guys are able to do, what Rory McIlroy is able to accomplish, watching all of this is so much more entertaining than it was when I guess I didn't know. All I knew was lowest score wins, right? But there's an appreciation for watching what Rory McIlroy did on the 16th hole on the final day. That putt he made, just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Puts it all the way up and it dribbles all the way down nearly into the hole. Like, he couldn't have done any better. And watching that as a, let's face it, terrible golfer myself, it's something, I guess, if you want to say to aspire to, sure, I'll never be that good. And not many others starting around when I do at 23 will never be that good. Rory's been playing for his entire life. So it's fun to watch, though. It's fun to watch someone be that good. It's fun to watch someone do as well as they do. And this Masters, I think, was probably the more entertaining one of at least my lifetime. Viewing lifetime, I should say, because there could have been a very much more entertaining one in the prime Tiger Woods years, all of that, right? But this leaderboard was kind of all over the place in the best possible way. It was McIlroy ended up he had the longest lead, 6 strokes under the nearest opponent. He was 12 under after 2 days. His finishing total was 12 under. So he bogeyed on the first day to 11 under and then went 1 under yesterday in round 4 to end up taking 12 under in first place. But everybody else on the leaderboard ended up getting close. Scotty Scheffler ends up in second place at 11 under. He was surging there. He gets one more birdie. There's a playoff. And he missed a putt for a birdie by about a half an inch. Henley tied for third with Young. Hatton tied for third as well, all at 10 under. There was a lot of movement. Justin Rose, who was in the playoff with Rory last year. Justin Rose was really moving and trending in a good direction there. And then he kind of blew up on himself. So, I mean, that kind of fell apart there. But there was, if you looked at any of the betting markets, and especially Kalshi, Poly Market, all of those, where it's more, I guess, what is the general public's opinion? Because it's not Vegas making those odds. It's just who thinks what in a pool of money, right? If you looked at those, they were bouncing every which way for like 3 hours yesterday. It was unbelievable. So yeah, definitely one of the more entertaining Masters of my lifetime. And there's more we want to get into here, because there's been this conversation the last week and after the win and during the tournament. Rory McIlroy was asked, not participating in the other tournaments and all of that. He didn't the last 3 weeks in Valero, in Texas, all of that, right? He didn't participate in those tournaments because he decided to go play Augusta and prep for the Masters, which, I mean, if you're asking me, is totally fine. But a lot of people have found issue with this. And they're saying that he played all 3 weeks, blah, blah, blah. and he's got an unfair advantage over the competition. Jack Nicklaus did like the same thing, okay? Because Rory's response was, Poppy is his daughter, by the way. There are days where he would drop Poppy at school, fly to Augusta, play around, fly back, pick Poppy up and have dinner with his wife and daughter. And people have taken a lot of issue with that. I'm sorry. He won last year. He won the Masters in 2025. He gets membership. He's won the FedEx Cup enough. He's major chasing. He's halfway to a double-decker Grand Slam. If I'm him, I'm Masters chasing and major chasing as well, without question. So for people who take issue with that, I'm interested to see what you think. I mean, just comment down below. I don't get it necessarily. Because I think as of the prior champion, he earned his right. Anyone else could have been doing that. Scotty Scheffler could have been doing that. But his game, I mean, it was off up until the Masters. He kind of showed back through. It's still, the putting's not great from him, but he's looking to bounce back. So he played in those other tournaments. But realistically, I get it. Rory has the membership, but anyone, I think, could have done that. Anyone could have somehow, made it work, or anyone who has a membership, I should say, because I'm not going to assume that people can just get a membership to Augusta National, whoever you are. But I don't know. I don't find that to be that unfair of an advantage. They change so much every day. I mean, they're not playing the same holes every day. They're changing pin locations, all of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's not that deep for me. But let me know what you think. Comment down below. Was it that much of an unfair advantage for Rory McIlroy? And I think one of the bigger stories, other than Rory winning 2 Masters since the last time the New York Jets have had an interception, which was the 2024-25 season, which is just mind-boggling. What a stat there. I think one of the bigger stories is the LIV tournament here. And it's not good. I don't like the LIV League necessarily. I think it strays away from tradition, and I hate to say it because I do like some of the golfers within it, but it's not competitive enough. And I think you're seeing that. I think you're seeing Jon Rahm struggle not getting challenged. I think you're seeing Bryson DeChambeau, the quote-unquote mad scientist. I don't really know what we're doing here with that. Printing his own irons, and he falls completely flat. He's non-existent after first 2 days of the tournament. He triple bogeys. On the last hole, he just needed a bogey to move on. He trips. Literally and figuratively. Just completely falls flat on his face and getting out of a bunker. Looked like me trying to get out of a bunker. And you've heard a lot of the golf analysts mention that he seemed more tentative than he normally would be. I mean, Bryson DeChambeau's known to kind of go, for lack of a better term, balls to the wall. And he didn't. He played it very conservative, and that's what ends up happening when you're not playing your game and you're trying to, do something else. And Augusta National's it's not the course to mess around with and change things around with. You got to play your game. And I truthfully don't think DeChambeau, as much as I love his style of golf and it's entertaining, right? His YouTube golf is entertaining. I don't think his style works at Augusta, and I think that's what was eating in his brain the entire time, and I think it just mangled him. That was that. He was done before he even started. And the collapse, the nickname DeChambles, the collapse from last year, where he was in the final pair with Rory, and again, DeChambles fell into DeChambles, and it was bad. So, and again, Jon Rahm, as I mentioned earlier, just not a great look. And Brooks Koepka coming back from LIV, playing better, I guess, right? Some of these other guys, it's going to be interesting to see if LIV survives another chunk of time here. Because if this keeps up and the best of the best aren't performing and they want to get back on the PGA Tour like some others have, it's going to be a short-lived life. There's not going to be much there for them. they lose Bryson DeChambeau, who's their flagship, if you ask me right now. It's not Phil Mickelson. They lose Bryson DeChambeau to the PGA Tour going back. They're done in the water. And losing Brooks Koepka is already big, and maybe losing Jon Rahm when his contract's up is big. I don't know what Bryson's contract situation is, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to pay the golfers not just performance-based pay, but give them a contract like a professional athlete. And in theory, that sounds great. I just think the execution of LIV, at least this version of it, isn't going over well. I don't need music blaring. I don't need Thunderstruck blaring as a golfer walks up to the tee like it's a walkout in boxing. It doesn't have to happen in baseball. There's a tradition, as Jim Nantz says, unlike any other, and that's Augusta, which is a microcosm of the golf world, right? It's fun for a minute. The Waste Management Open and the PGA is fun for a moment. That's LIV all day, every day, dialed up to 11. I think if I'm a fan, I'd experience it once, and that would be enough. Maybe even not a full 18. I don't think I'd stay a day, a full tournament, because it's just I don't know. It's just not the game. I sound like a curmudgeon, I know, but let me know what you think about LIV. Comment down below. It's just interesting to see where this is all going to go, but this all stems from the competition in the Masters and this leaderboard and where Rory ended up. I mean, I'm looking now, just scrolling through. Jon Rahm was tied for 38th. He was a one over, specifically him, for the LIV conversation. And Bryson DeChambeau was cut, like I said, before the weekend even started. So it's not a good look for them. It's not a good look for them. And it's a shame, because I think Jon Rahm had a lot to offer. And I think LIV definitely has stunted his professional career in the difficulty of course and all of that. When you're in the PGA Tour, you're playing against the best of the best for compensation. That's what happened yesterday. You saw that with Young staying at 10 under, making that big putt before Rory ended it. Making that big putt, he drops down to about 6th place and loses a huge chunk of change. So, yeah, the PGA Tour is different. It's not contractual. You're not getting a pay. It's pay based on performance and where you finish. And it takes a while to get there. You grind. There's a late night talk show of Rory McIlroy as a child chipping balls into his mom's dryer to practice. And LIV, I get it, was trying to go around that, but it's not working. And I think you're only seeing it fall further. I think YouTube golf is a good thing. And I know DeChambeau is involved with that, so is Jon Rahm. More as a guest star with Rahm. He doesn't have his own channel as far as I'm concerned, but Bryson DeChambeau does. And I think that is more entertaining than a LIV event. And it has broader outreach. Just do that while you're on the tour. And, I guess coming from me, sports media, journal, whatever you want to call me, it might not mean that much. But I do think for the betterment of the sport, if those guys come back, that could be huge. That could be huge. So Rory wins his 2nd straight Masters. The LIV fallout from this, and we'll only see where it goes from here. We got a lot of golf left this summer. Something I want to touch on a lot on this channel as much as I can, especially throughout the golf season. We're going to be talking all about pretty much everything. Football, baseball, basketball. Maybe not basketball. There's not big NBA market where I'm at. Maybe, the playoffs coming up. Maybe we'll touch on some betting odds for them. World Cup's coming up, too. Might have some special guests join for that. That could be interesting. More golf, of course. And the NHL. Sabres. Buffalo Sabres, where, if you can't tell, I'm from that general area. If I could figure out the way my camera works to move out of your way, you can see the Buffalo slug behind me and the Bills memorabilia. Listen, Sabres making the playoff drought for the first time in 14 years. Detroit Red Wings are out. That means they have a 10-year playoff drought. And it looks like the Sabres are going to play Boston as of right now. So anything can happen when this releases to when the games actually start. But this weekend, we start getting some playoff hockey action. So later this week, I'm going to have a special guest on. We're going to break down the playoff schedule, break down the Sabres and where they fit in all of this for the first time in 14 years and go over some of the best matchups and maybe pick some and see who we have winning some series and going to the Cup and maybe who wins it all. So I'm excited about that. That'll be coming probably Thursday or Friday, depending on when the schedule is released for the playoffs and all of that, the Stanley Cup playoffs. But again, thanks to anyone for tuning in, listening, watching. Going to do more frequent, shorter episodes like this, segment-based, and appreciate you all tuning in to the Joe Cali Show. Like, comment, subscribe down below. What do you think about what we covered today? LIV, the Masters, Rory's controversy with playing Augusta regularly before the tournament. Is that an unfair advantage? Let me know down below, and we'll talk about it as we go forward here in golf season. And that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. We'll talk soon. This has been the Joe Cali Show.